Yeah.
Right. Today is September 5th, 2020. We are still lost in a realm of chaos right now, Jack. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and this is the state. I still got some salt water. I just came out of the ocean, everybody. Jumped in the shower real quick. So we're recording a little bit late, which I guess doesn't matter because you get this a day later or something.
Yeah.
But awesome waves today. That's not what we're here to talk about. We are a YouTube podcast show where we discuss really organizations and indie developers that create games for greater causes than themselves, or like what we like to say, game design for social change or game design for good. My name is Jeffrey Vierra, aka Mr. V. I do a lot of stuff. The most important thing that I do is I teach game design at Nanakuli High School on the beautiful west coast of Oahu. Jack, who are you?
Jack.
I said you. Jack, who are you? Sorry, Jack.
Yeah. As you could tell, the warp storm is obviously impacting Hawaii very, very badly right now.
Yeah. It's pretty tough, but the show must go on.
Mhm.
A little bit about yourself, Jack.
Yeah, so I'm a recent graduate of Nanakui High Intermediate, and I've just been spending all my life right now with this guy right next to me. If you're watching on
Your
YouTube,
whole life, Jesus, man. we do a lot of projects outside of this show. All right,
Yeah.
so thank you for that, Jack. So we've got a few articles today that we're going to go through, and really, again, the point of the show is to really just showcase awesome stuff that we find on the internet dealing with gaming for social good. First one is going to be from Starlight.org, and this is really an article. More, I just wanted to shine a cool light on these guys and amplify what they're doing. This is a nonprofit called Starlight, and what they do is they bring happiness to kids, and these are kids that are struggling with certain disabilities and things like that. And one of the vehicles that they use is gaming. So they bring gaming to kids, which is super awesome. That's what we're all about, and a bunch of other stuff. So you can find out more information on them on starlight.org. We're not affiliated with them in any way. They're just super awesome, and I wish them all the best. Jack, what do you think about these people?
If we showcase just how expansive gaming is now, well, nonprofits are going to be coming up, and not just for one particular genre like esports or stuff, but really is diversifying in gaming in general. For example, they're not just doing game development, but they're also talking about streaming and also talking about how to get into the industry. And so it's inevitable you're going to see these programs, whether it's non-profit or corporation. And no matter how you see it, it's going to be a benefit for gaming overall. Because even if they're not talking about ball games, say they talk about game development in a video game standpoint, now these kids will have the idea of, hey, I want to be a game developer, but I don't want to work for Activision. What is the next option? Now they became more aware, and now they all could actually go into the gaming industry with more options than they had just going into a hospital. So yeah,
man, thank you. That's a really good point. It's not just bringing games to kids. It's using gaming, period, as a medium to enrich these children's lives, and that means streaming, design, gaming, everything under the sun, right? So yeah, right on, Jack. All right, so check them out, guys. Give them some money, give them your love, give them your aloha. Starlight.org. Check them out.
One last thing. Remember, there's going to be more organizations. If you cannot financially support this organization right now, then there's going to be more and more. They will need your support, whether that be propaganda. I mean, not propaganda. People who showcase their media, or even forgive me for using the language of propaganda. Could we just
Please support them with propaganda because.
I've been watching a lot of Call of Duty lately.
Oh my god. Just wash my ears out here. Clearing my ears.
There's other ways to support them and other organizations that is going to start up. So keep your eyes open for them.
All right. Next article.
It was so good until I mentioned that word.
All right. Who are we talking about here? Okay, so I selected this article here, and it is by upnewsinfo.com, and it's the best texting games of 2020, right? And what they mean by texting games is just that, like using your phone or a messaging service to message back and forth and gamify that somehow. Jack, what are your thoughts on this as a young avid texter?
Okay, one, I don't text too much, unlike you, but I
am quite a texter, actually.
For real, it feels like I'm going up against just like a rapid fire machine gun. But
what about a nice waterfall of candy? Doesn't have to be a machine gun, Jack.
Okay, how about this? Rapid candy maker.
Sure. There we go. Yay, progress. Spiraling. All right. Texting, Jack.
But if we showcase that gaming is going to change and it's going to alter its course in many different ways. Sometimes it will be for the wars, like we saw with microtransactions and DLC. Sometimes it's for the better, like this. And the reason why I say it's for the better because it allows game developers and designers to re-explore a new genre of gaming, which is file by text. You'll often see this method used in like ARGs, for example. That's a big one that use texting in general. But now, since new ideas and new people are getting more into gaming, you will often see new genres. For example, in this article, it states 20 questions, which is basically a trivia game, but on text. And so these 20 questions could be from mundane to extreme, and it really will allow game designers to interact with these genres that's found in texting and really exploit that or explore more on that.
Yep.
Just a new canvas.
Awesome. So like was it? Yeah, it was. I was just processing. So H.G. Wells wrote this book a long time ago called Little Wars, and in Little Wars he explained how you could set up like books and I think boxes and things like that to simulate war gaming, and that greatly influenced things like Warhammer and other military simulation type of games. Cheap Ass Games, fantastic company that would send you the rules. In the early days, it would send you the rules, and then you would just find whatever kind of components you had around your house to use as game components. I love this idea of utilizing mediums and things that you already have, and then gamifying that. Texting. Everybody has a phone. I mean, 3-year-olds have phones now for some crazy reason. It's like, just in case she gets lost in the supermarket, we're gonna give her an iPhone. Okay, sure. But yeah, so this is. I mean, not okay. I'm sorry, not 3-year-olds, but like little kids, right? Oh, the little kids have phones. It's just
No,
ridiculous. Like,
I
why is
didn't
the phone?
say not 3 years. I said not in Hawaii. You will see that.
No, get plenty. Dude, I'm like pushing my car and I see these little kids with their phones. Like, I'm just like, what? What is this little kid doing? I mean, what is he? Is he checking his taxes? Is he checking the stocks? What is he? Is he buying Vanguard stocks? Like, come on, little kid should be playing in the dirt, throwing stones in the water. Anyway, sorry. Okay, what are we talking about? Yeah, right. Okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about texting and phones. No, well, yes, we're talking about that, but also we're just talking about, fundamentally not having to get a certain thing to play is really what it is, and that's something that happens in game design where I see this time and time again, these guys that are building these games, board games or analog games especially, where they're really trying to perfect their prototype as early as possible. And I seen this article somewhere, I don't remember who said it, but the guy said, don't polish your game too early, which I think is perfect. That's such a beautiful analogy. Like, let it be rough because you don't know if you're going to be using cards or dice yet. Like, if you change your mind halfway through playtesting, you're going to have to go back and change your medium. So too with this is you're able to immediately leverage something that you have, right, with something that the other players have without having to get a thing. It's kind of like those road trips, right, where they would do those games like I'm thinking about something green, and they have so many questions to ask and things like that. So I think that's something that in our culture of acquisition we don't see as much as, because oftentimes through marketing we're always chasing the next best thing, right?
Right.
There is, I'm gonna say this for you, Jack. There's Call of Duty 97. What about Call of Duty 96 or 95 or 90? No. 97 is the new one that you have to get. Right. So you.
I can taste the syndicalism.
Like, let's make. Yeah. So there's this constant thing where, the game that you bought or the thing that you have 6 months ago is no longer cool. You got to get the new cool thing. Whereas things like this, texting games, you don't need the cool thing. Well, you need a phone. That's kind of a cool thing. But essentially, you don't have to get another phone to play. All right, let's move on, and I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry, everybody. Best texting games of 2020. Okay, this next article, I gotta get some.
Get ready for Tangent Central.
I gotta get some tissues. I'm gonna tear up on this one. Let me just start here. All right, here we go. Ready?
Uh-huh.
This is from indiegamesplus.com. Bless their hearts. Pun intended. Moon, an anti-RPG about empowering yourself with love. Jack. What the hell is this game about, Jack? You don't know? What?
I want
Surely you've reviewed the articles, sir.
I want you to go first.
Oh, dude. He didn't even...
No. I feel like you're gonna talk more about this. Okay. Oh wait. I'll go first.
Excuse me, folks. I need to write a journal entry real quick. All right, let's see. Dear journal, today Jack didn't even read the article.
No, I read it, but I feel like you're going to have more to speak about it. Okay.
More than a soldier in Call of Duty. Sorry, Jack. I just had to make a quick journal entry. What were you?
Moon is really about just the ideals of what is currently happening and what is just the self-reliance of everything, and how we mentioned before how social doctrine has just been this whole want the new best thing or want the next great thing. However, it's really in this main game, it's really talking about if something big that we take advantage of, and now we see our advantage in it being lost. And that, of course, being the moon. And really just all the self-reliance needed to really understand and really care for such objects or such ideals or things. And so that's where this article takes most of its speech from, and where it's really why are you giving me that look? Like, what are you talking about, Jack?
There we go. Solves. Thank you, Jack. So moon. Okay. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. Well, I'm not. The game that I'm currently playing, my video game time is split between maintaining my island in Animal Crossing, which I have to do 1 hour per day just to go and make sure everybody's all cool, kosher, like that. And then on the weekends, I give myself some time to play Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, we talked about it time and time again. Super killer, awesome game, okay? I now have to figure out how I can fold time and reality to make time to play this game. This is like the I don't know, anti-Dark Souls game, I guess, not through mechanics, but through thematics. So what is this game? I'm sure you are asking yourself, looking at the screen now. Moon was originally released in 1997, and it is a game where, let's look at this another way. Yep. So it's a game where you play a hero who is mending the hearts of animals. I think just animals and creatures, but it may actually be like NPCs and things like that previous players have gone through and just like ravaged them, right? Like, like killing for XP, or you're like, normal RPGs, you'll play a group or a person, you go through this dungeon, you'll slay all the goblins and orcs and whatnot, get your gear and XP and then leave, right? In this game, you're essentially playing a player that's going through there and sitting down next to the goblin and being, man, are you all right? Dude, do you need some Mountain Dew? Do you need some, are you okay? And Goblin's just, hey man, I'm just, doing my job here. I'm trying to pay the bills. Whatever. I mean, it's very, you can see, I would imagine this, and there's a lot of elements of Undertale in this type of game. So yeah, man, I from watching the YouTube video and reading this article, and I did a little bit more research on it, because I don't want to spoil too much of the gaming experience for me. That is what I gather this game is about. And holy moly, like what a poignant theme for today's day and age of separation, right? Where you have like these guys screaming at these guys screaming at these guys, when really they got to adopt a third story. What do we have in common? How do we move this country forward, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And rather than looking at differences, try to figure out what's similar. And yeah, that's essentially my review of Moon. I will probably end up talking about this more and more as I get the game on the Switch and play it. Yeah, I just want to see more games like this. I'm so happy that Nintendo decided to bring this to the Switch, to port this over.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Word. Okay. That is Moon, an anti-RPG about empowering yourself, by Indie Games Plus. All right. This next article.
Good news is it's in the middle.
Just give me a second here. Okay. Speaking of politics. So the way this show works is, I try not to just throw all the articles in there, right? I put some in, Jack put some in, and sometimes Jack would just throw radical stuff in there. I'm just like, dude, come on, this is a show about indie design and gaming for social good. But he's like, but Russia is social good, or Poland is social good. Ding. Yeah, so this is a Jack article. That's what I'm alluding to here, and the title is Black Lives Matter meets Animal Crossing: How Protesters Take Their Activisms to Video Games. Very, very cool article, or title, excuse me, and that is by theguardian.com. Jack, what is this article about?
It's really just talking about how gaming right now is expanding right now. And so due to that expansion, game developers throughout both in board gaming, but mostly in video gaming, will have to understand that if they're going to have a multiplayer aspect, they're going to have to understand that many of these ideas and concepts, for example, Black Lives Matter or Free Hong Kong, these protesters will use their platform for social change or to spread their ideals. And it's really posing a question for game developers. Should we allow this? Should we support this? Or should we go against this? And it will be really up to each developer/publisher to decide on this. But this is already showcasing a new age of gaming too, which is protesting. Though Black Lives Matter in the title, they do mention a lot where it started, which was the Free Hong Kong movement. If it wasn't for Blitz Chun and all of those guys starting it, we probably would have not seen such activism spread in Animal Crossing, for example. But the gates is already open, and we're going to see more of these groups into gaming. Now it will be up to not just game developers, but peers as well in these communities. Should they be open to this or should they not? And I don't want to put any more opinions into this debate, but yeah, I found it interesting because it's not just talking about gaming right now as social change, but gaming in the future.
They have a sim protest that's pretty out there. They made a BLM rally in The Sims. So that is a really interesting point, is using these mediums, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how powerful video games are. Question for you while we're on this topic. Mm-hmm. Do you think that using video games as a medium for protest and things like that is more of a progressive? Like there's more progressives that are doing that versus non-progressives?
I think it's depending on the games we're talking about, honestly. Because, for example, Sims and Animal Crossing, there's going to be more progressive ideas and more progressives doing that. But if we're talking about other games that is more sandboxy, for example, Armor, which I saw several communities on there either supporting Hong Kong, and by doing so, making operations or stuff based on that, or just other concepts. So that's going to be a more conservative view take. It really depends on what games you're experiencing and what games are you in right now. If you're in Animal Crossing, of course, you're going to see more progressive. But if you're in Armor, you're going to see more conservative outbreaks.
What? Armor?
Armor. ARMA3.
Arma. Got it. Okay, interesting. I'll look that up later. All right, thank you for that insight. Okay, cool article. Black Lives Matter meets Animal Crossing and others. How protesters are taking activism to video games. Yes. What?
No, I was just saying, just avoid the title.
Why?
Well, bad joke.
Okay, I mean, it's just. I think I see where you're leading with this. It's really just activism, period, right?
Yeah.
Putting BLM is a little clickbaity, just a little bit. I mean, I mean, there is a focus on that though in the article, but it's not just right. It's just period using a new way of protesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Next article. I'm really excited to talk about this one. Is sorry, somebody's cooking something delicious. All right, let's focus. Intersection of gaming and music in quarantine culture by hyperbot.com. Jack, what is this article about?
So it's really talking about the ideals of really how gaming could go into a different genre or come into a genre of similarity and really attach itself strongly to it and making positive change in both genres. And so, of course, one of the biggest industries that we often see collaborations with is the music industry. And this article really highlights the different attributes and ideals that comes from this collaboration, whether it's AAA, whether it's indie, whether it's even ball game, because we see elements of music design and sound design into ball gaming now. And so it really emphasized just this ideal of even the near future, gaming is gonna be a pillar for other communities that is especially hit hard right now. For example, one of the main appeals that really caught my eye was how they mentioned mobile gaming. A lot of us knows how mobile gaming is with microtransactions, with the tactics and stuff like that. There is some awesome games on there, but you have to go through a sea of not so good. And so it really emphasized another positive aspect of that gaming, which is they showcase a lot of indie musicians and indie bands, which is always a positive thing because now they get to have new crowds or new audiences that they could encapsulate with their music. It really is an article to read if you're going into either industry or even if you're going into any creative industry because it allows you to understand how gaming could be used in to help you out, especially if you're not going into gaming. Oh my god.
What?
No. It's like whenever you do that look, I'm like, okay, I'm not too sure.
No, it's
Oreo.
oh gosh, no. So yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, any music is such a powerful medium to use in gaming, and you know, partnering with musicians and even composers like what's the guy that did Max Cooper. So like if Max Cooper was to start making soundtracks for video games, that'd be crazy. I really love how in Ghost of Tsushima it uses silence and music together, right? You know, to amplify what's happening in the game as well. But yeah, I still feel like, I mean, from where I'm looking at least, that it's I don't think there's enough credit given to audio engineers and people that are doing soundtracks for games. I know like you can get the soundtracks on Bandcamp and things like that, but man, there's some really good. I mean, even going way back to Nobuo Uematsu and the old Final Fantasy soundtracks, like, and the cool thing with things like Final Fantasy or whatever, like whatever game you're playing, Battlefront or whatever, and you hear that song again outside of the game, it just brings you right back into the game, all the emotions and everything that you're experiencing. So yeah, very, very cool. All right, so that is by hypebot.com, intersection of gaming and music and quarantine culture. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articles. So normally we have a question of the day, which we don't today. And Jack, somebody wants to send us a question. Where can they send that question to?
At theboardstate@gmail.com.
Hands down. Awesome. Yes, theboardstate@gmail.com. Okay. So instead of doing
that, I talk like that whenever I have to answer that question.
Sure. All right. So instead of having a question today, Jack has put in a surprise article. Okay, so poof, surprise. Yay! All right. So we have. Oh man. Okay, I was a little afraid to click the link, folks.
Because okay, listen, the article I had on
it could be like struggling communities in COVID are forced to eat board gaming components. Oh, thanks, Jack.
No. The article before this was about Poland and how awesome Poland is. Poland strong.
Let's see. September 5th, 9:40. Dear Jack, today during the podcast, Jack would not stop talking about Poland. Why does he keep talking about Poland over and over and over and over again? This is not a Poland podcast. The end. Sorry, just had to make a little note. Ridiculous. All right, let's get back on topic here. Video games help children improve literacy, communication, mental well-being, survey says, or survey finds, rather. This is by CNN.com. So take that for what you will. Jack, what is this article about?
Really, it's about just a pat on the back article or feel good article.
Yeah.
And it showcase like what we've been preaching and what all gamers has been preaching, that gaming is not a monster or a demon that needs to be a crusader of the planet. It's really showcasing the true weight and power of the industry and how it could produce positive changes with and also encouragement. And they go into specifics. What is amazing though is that it's coming from CNN, a notorious news organization that was one of the oracle. Well, they didn't produce that argument, but they didn't stop the argument.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I'll fill in the gaps here. All right, so National Literacy Trust interviewed 4,626 people between ages 11 and 17, and they found that, and this was done between November and December, so pre-COVID world. But what they found was more than 35% of the children who played say they believe video games made them better readers, but the vast majority, 79%, say they read materials related to gaming once a month. The materials included game communications, reviews, and books. All that reading may be helping players improve their writing, about 3 out of 5, 62%. Young people who play video games also write something related to gaming once a month, the survey found, which is writing blogs and fan fiction. So absolutely. Embrace nerd culture. I mean, that's really what this is kind of a part of, and yeah, it's super cool. I mean, something that no brainer to us, but I still occasionally come across people like, oh, video games, oh, it's just for waste time. Yeah, like what? I mean, yes, you could. Anything can be used as escapism, right?
But it's the equivalent of saying, oh, baseball is only to waste time, or football is only to waste time.
Well, I mean, anything. I would say anything, right? If you drink too much water, you're gonna die, right? But you should drink some water every day, and please do, folks. But yeah, so anything taken to excess, let me put this another way. Anything out of context, right? You always want to make sure that the intentions and the context of what you're doing is aligned correctly, right? Because if you're playing Grand Theft Auto because you want to learn how to be a drug dealer, that's probably the wrong context that you're, right? Or, pick whatever, Dark Souls, you want to become, a mass murderer, so you play Dark Souls to learn some shit. Like that's a bad context that you're doing, right? And or avoiding responsibilities in life by retreating into a gaming world, can definitely be the same as baseball or anything like that.
Well, if it's went to the extreme, but avoiding responsibilities, if managed, is actually a positive. It really depends on the person.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I heard this correctly. Avoiding if managed, could be a good thing?
For example, if you have a creative job and you can't make anything and you just need to get away from it all.
Okay, I don't think that's avoiding responsibilities, though, right? That's like just taking a break. Like avoiding responsibilities is like, I don't want to do this. You feel. I mean, okay. I guess you can see it either. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can see it that way too, where I don't know. No, I don't see it. Everyone needs a break, definitely, right? Too much of a thing, including work. You work too much here, your brain's gonna tell you to stop. But spiraling out again. Okay, so that's gonna do it for our show. That was video games help children improve literacy, communication, mental well-being, survey finds. Awesome. We just have a couple of shout outs and then we're gonna close up the week. Jack, if someone wants to jump in on this new ARG game, where can they do that, and what is it?
Yeah, so we're running the ARG, which is basically a mystery type thing, and it's pseudo ARG, but in actuality you're learning Korean history and trying to discover this girl's story and how she relates to historical figure from Hawaii. And the winner of this ARG will get a PS5. We're also
giving out thousands and thousands of dollars a week. No, we're not. I'm just kidding. Sorry. We should.
Yes, but we don't have the money to.
We have a lot of gift cards. Okay, so what are we What are we giving away every week though?
A gift card from one of the major retailers. For example, last week I'm pretty sure we gave out a Costco gift card.
Yeah. Or was it this week? Yeah, it was a Costco. And then this week is a $50 gift card to, I have it right here. I got to do the contest after this. $50 gift card to the Cheesecake Factory. $50, man. $50. And it's free.
And so especially, so keep in mind that some of the gift cards may not be readily available in your current area, but it's just a nice way of thanking you for participating and also interacting with us throughout the weeks.
Yep.
Otherwise, you could...
And where can they join this?
You could find and join this group at Facebook groups /808ARG.
Or put another way, facebook.com/groups/808ARG, and there'll be something down there that says where the link is as well.
I'm going to get all right on the last week of this thing.
Yeah, we got about a month left, and then and that's it. We have a reigning champ that needs to be taken down, so we'd like to see more interaction happening in the game. All right, and then once more, Jack, where can they reach us?
At theboardstate@gmail.com.
theboardstate@gmail.com. You can check out a little bit about us on thetheorycraftist.com. We've got some games up there. If you want to help us out, you can buy a game or 2 or 3 or 10. But that's going to do it. Jack, any closing words?
Stay safe, have fun, and
Oh.
yeah.
Oh. Okay. Phew.
Well, in
That's
Sean.
just- Oh.
You should have just start.
Okay. Stay safe and healthy, everybody. Talk to you next week. All right, Jack. That's gonna do it. Let me stop recording here.